What God cannot do does not exist. My name is Amaka and I'm making this video from Lagos. So the first time I joined the fire altar, I think it was last year, a friend of mine sent me the link. I also have so many people sending me the link, colleagues, everything, but I joined once or twice. I really wasn't consistent, but I became very consistent after I got married, because then my mother-in-law, every morning, she was going to call me. She would call me. She would be like, "Oh, did you hear that testimony? That woman, after being barren, she had triplets, she had twins, this, that." So each time, if I didn't join, I wouldn't know what to respond back. I'll just be biting my tongue. So because of that, I just, became consistent. So that immediately after the prayers, and she calls me, "Oh, did you hear that testimony?" I'm like, "Yes, that man was healed of paralysis, this one, that one, that one." So that was how I became consistent with the fire altar. And God has just been good to me. When Pastor says miracle, we jam miracle in your house, he was actually referring to me, because it's been back to back for me. I got married, God blessed me with the fruit of the womb, a whole lot of things. And I also remember in December, a friend of mine, she's also on this fire altar. Her name is Beke. We're just discussing, talking about all the testimonies we hear on the fire altar. And I told her, you know what, moving forward, from 2023, the kind of testimonies, like, I want to give testimonies that sound like a lie. Those kind of testimonies that when you give, people will open their mouths like it's unbelievable. That those are the kind of testimonies I want to be giving, come 2023. Those type that when you're giving, there are some testimonies that when they are given, you see them show Pastor Jerry, he will open his mouth, or sometimes he will put his hand on his head. I say, those are the kind of testimonies I want God to give me. And we, laughed about it and all that. So 2023, my husband traveled. He already traveled. I'm going to be joining him later. But there's this, his auntie, they haven't seen in a long time. He went to visit her. She was so excited to see him and all of that. Now, NSPPDians, this is now the testimony, that one that sounds like a lie. My husband met with the auntie, and a day, 2 days later, they went to see her lawyer. They went to the bank, and I don't even know how to give this testimony, because she signed over her property, her house in London. She signed it over to my husband. When you talk about transfer of wealth, and this is me, I was so afraid of transitioning. And I remember Pastor Jerry, praying sometime in January, saying, the transitioning, don't worry, God is going to make that transitioning smooth for you. Because I was so worried, starting over, like, I have been so anxious. And he was like, God will make the transitioning smooth for you. So my husband's auntie signed over her property, a house in London, to my husband. How Pastor Jerry will always say, how will you shout? See, this one is not how will you shout. This one is how will you increase, because it's unbelievable. Something you never thought nor expected. So when my husband shared the document with me, I was looking, I was not like, say something. I said, what do you want me to say? Because this kind of, this sort of thing I am still like dumbfounded, because I don't know what to say, and then when he now, we did a video call, and he was not like, see our house key, a house in London. Do you know how much it will cost you to buy a house in London? And then someone just signs it over and gives it to you. Not your mother, not your father. Oh my God, how will you shout? I could not shout. Look, if you are still doubting, like, there's nothing God cannot do. Like, that thing he cannot do. In fact, they never born that thing. They never manufacture them, because he can do all things. What God cannot do does not exist. Pastor Jerry, thank you very much. Thank you so much for allowing God to use you.